Hey, you guys, welcome to our coiling part two, take one today. And I think I think I'm sharing my screen. You should be able to see a picture I took this morning of a two coiling projects actually that I had at my house. This one, look, I'm checking. I can see the people at home could see me pointing in this little screen. This one here that I'm holding is a vase that I coiled out of raffia. I'm going to show you, I started a new raffia project, and I'll show you on the overhead screen in a minute. Um, and that one was last year, we went remote, so we didn't do this last year, but the year before is when I made that, probably for 7th grade, which they are probably in 9th grade now. But it was my class demo. The orange and tan one was an old one. I think that could be 10 years old. But these things aren't made for necessarily holding like real flowers, as you see, because it doesn't hold water, right? But in this case, some origami. Or the other one, actually, you think, it just has little odds and ends in it. It had some of those little door stops laying in it, which in case I ever need another door stop, I know they were in that orange bowl. So odds and ends. Hey, let's look at our overhead screen, you guys. I know that I assume this little screen would be blank when I walk over there. You guys can see that too, can't you? Let's go to the overhead screen. Check it out. I'm going over right now. You guys, this is exciting. Let me get my materials. Check this out. Look what I got here. Hopefully we don't freeze up. Oh, first off, yesterday I was making my new raffia coil pot. Look, I'm going to show you, this won't be part of part two. Today's part two, right? Yeah. But part three, I'll show you how to change directions. So you could turn it to a bowl or a cylinder or something other than just flat. Okay? But today, we're going to learn about changing colors or adding color or adding another piece to wrap. Okay? Anyway, this is just one I've been working on. I'll show you the progress day by day. All right? Kind of same exact materials as that little vase I was showing you. Okay? But let me show you this. This is for the people at home. Now, I had one student, I think, emailed the office. A parent is coming to pick stuff up for them. And you guys know what? I got a bag for them waiting in the office with some yarn, some of our core stuff, a needle, everything they need for this project at home. Now, how many people are quarantined? More than one, but one person's coming to pick it up. Now, other people were emailing about this. They don't have the yarn or needle and all that stuff. So I promised that I'd make some sort of alternative, and I did. So this morning, I grabbed some Payless bags out of my garage, and I cut them into strips. And I have started my first Payless bag coil pot. Check this out. The middle of it is, well, you can even see it's the handle. It's the handle of the Payless bag. And I've been coiling around it with strips of the Payless bag, just the same as we do this project. In the end, I'm going to have a totally... Hey, real quick, I have a needle here. Time out. Beep. I'm not stopping the video. We're still rolling. I wanted to do one other thing. Those of you at home that might not have a needle, what if you had a paper clip? Let me get one. Now this is a fancy black paper clip, but okay, there we go. You guys, what if you didn't have a needle at home, but you had some Payless bags and you had a paper clip? I'm going to straighten this paper clip out like so. And then the end of it, you guys, I'm going to bend over. Look at this. Okay, I have made a needle. It's a little bit long. It's a long needle. Let's switch it out. I'm taking this one off of my trash bag coiling project here. I'm going to thread this into my paper clip homemade needle. So here, you're sitting at home going, oh, I'm so bored being quarantined. Maybe I'll make some art today. You can get your trash bags out, cut you some strips. By the way, you're probably, if you're interested, and you're probably wondering how I started this, I started it the exact same way that was on the video yesterday, okay? Which is on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, ring the little bell. You guys, I started it the exact same way. And I used, the middle of the bag, a little thicker part for the core, and then just cut strips. And I could coil this. I was at home last night thinking about it. I thought, boys, we're live on the air. Boys, hey, I thought about it last night. Later on, probably in a few weeks, I wouldn't want my wife to know this, but because I don't want, or your parents to know this, but there's that ornamental grass, sometimes in the yard. Don't go cutting that down, but that stuff would be great for this project. That ornamental grass, a real tall, long grass. Can you imagine how this would be? It would look like, kind of like the raffia. Thing is, though, right now the ornamental grass is not long. It's real short. But probably in the fall, you could make this with ornamental grass being not the core so much as the wrap, okay? Just thinking about that. Thinking about things. Problem was, I was thinking about all you guys quarantined and thinking about the trash bags, of course, and started thinking about other stuff around the house, around the yard, things that I could coil with. And you could coil for, I'm thinking recycled stuff here, but there's nature stuff you could use, right? So let's get back to our project. You guys at home are probably wondering what to do next. So I think we have student number R4D4, student L0, L0A. Oh, did you want me to change yours? Okay, here, we're going to show you the next step. We're going to switch. I was using numbers to protect the innocent. Okay, because we're live on YouTube. All right, do you want to pick a color over there? You can do the same color, different color, whatever you want. Get about a wingspan. There should be scissors up there. Hey, now you guys see this beautiful coil project here is at the point where we need to start some more yarn, okay? Now, the great thing about this that the student did is they stopped before getting too far. You're going to want, let me back it out a little bit. I usually like to start switching colors. Make sure you have about 6 inches of the old color left. Obviously, I have more than that here. This is probably more than 6 inches. But what we're going to do, it's real simple. I'm going to lay down the new color along the core. You guys see that at home, hopefully. I'm trying to be better on my camera I'm always looking at my project. Yesterday when I was doing it, and I realized that I wasn't always on the camera, so I'm trying to be better about making you guys see it or letting you guys see it. If you lay the core or your new color on here, and again, you could use the same color. Let's just call it you lay your new string on there, and then continue as normal wrapping around the core. You are wrapping the new string under there, the end of it. Go ahead, if you have enough, to give it a stitch. Technically, you really want to have enough to give it a stitch before you do this next part. And the next part is to switch your needle to your new string. And then we're going to lay that old string along the core, and we're going to wrap it up in the new string. Okay, so both ends will be wrapped up. All right, now go ahead and continue wrapping with the new string now. And you can see if I go slow enough, if I slow down, now I'm just going to continue wrapping up the end of that old string, and it's going to be buried in there, right? So go about 5 turns, give it a stitch, and it'll just continue to until you're buried it. Now, if you ever get real fancy, you'll find that some people that do the fancy patterns in there, sometimes if they have a fancy pattern, sometimes they have 2 strings going at once, and they're sitting there coiling with the one color, and then they'll switch to the other to make a pattern, maybe make diamond shapes. They could do all kinds of fancy shapes, kind of like people that weave real fancy. But we're just kind of doing one at a time for the purposes of learning this. Again, now you're going to see your stitches because you got a different color, which, uh-oh, look at that. You know what I did here?
Wrong needle.
I put the wrong needle in. There's too many needles. That's why you want a neat workspace, folks, at home. Okay, anyway, now let's, whoa. Hey, if it ever starts to knot up like that, do you guys see that knot up? Let's pull that out here. See, there we go. We got rid of the knot. You basically, if you're pulling on it, something starts to knot up, just slowly back it out. I think this yarn, see how it tends to want to bunch up in there? It's just kind of doing that. That's okay though. Some yarns are different than others. This is a really light spirally yarn. All right, now, is there any students out there right now that are not very, who's the least furthest along? Let's go rewind, Wednesday rewind. Okay, student KU2, KU2,
No, K82.
K82.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, come here, bud. Let's see how far he is. How far is yours, student R49?
Not very far.
Is it as?
This is mine.
Let me know if it's as far as this one you see on screen. Oh. Okay. Oh my, we gotta catch up on that one there. Look at where student K95 is. Hey, how are you? Awesome. It's all right. She has one of these too. Oh, I forgot. I shouldn't have said. That's student K105. Hers is right here. Hey, let's check this out though. You guys, I can see here that he has put a stitch into this eye. Do you see that? Problem is, we didn't really go far enough along here and then bend this over to make that stitch. So I know he was very busy on his Chromebook, probably trying to figure out how to resolve this. Because believe it or not, you could probably find it on YouTube, of course, you know what I mean? Everything's on YouTube, not just my channel. There's people doing coiling projects all over YouTube. Actually, all our projects. Check it out. Hey, if I go around here a couple times, then bend this over. Remember, it's like a little letter E. Do you guys remember that from yesterday? So it's cool to do a little rewind here, and we'll help a couple students catch up with our last student so that we get everybody on the same page. That's kind of an important part of this project. I don't want to get too far ahead. Those people at home have the advantage of being able to hit rewind and take their time all day long. Here, though, well, we have lunch in 15 minutes, and we're going to be moving on to our brain break after that and get some oxygen in our prefrontal lobes and cortex, right? Hey, check this out. Now is the part that's always the same. You just twist around this core 5 times and put a stitch in it, okay? What do you think of that? Okay, I'll do it one more time, and then let's see Lily's. I used her name. Hey, great question. If you guys, if you were sitting there going, man, I saw how to do that, I could do that, you could go get some, yeah. I'll do yours too. Just give me a minute, Alexis. We'll get, let's catch both of you guys up. Let's get everybody caught up today. Hey, you guys here, those of you at home, here at the end, we're going to just kind of catch some people up. So I will, if you guys pay attention, you'll see this done several times. Hey, by the way, those of you here and at home, if you notice, I want to mention this. The end of this is not buried. And if you remember, the end not being buried means it could come unwound. We don't want that, right? If it comes unwound at the beginning. So remember, this is from the very beginning, boys and girls. Here, I'm going to lay these, go in the opposite direction. I'm going to start by leaving about 1 inch of the core exposed. I'm going to coil about 1 inch of it. I forgot I was going to try and go slower, wasn't I? I need to slow down for you. So here, hey, quiet on the set. Here, this is a review of yesterday from the beginning. I'll bend this over. I'll start coiling about 1 inch of this up. Okay? I call it like the little eyelet. It's like a little eyelet right there. Here, got about 1 inch there. Then I bend this little eyelet over. And we are ready to stitch. I put the needle right into the little eye and tighten this up. We got into a knot area. Remember, back that out. And usually the knot, if you try and pull the knot through, it'll just make it tighter and worse, right? So if it starts to knot, just stop, back it out. Usually the knot will come undone. Okay? Usually. Now we're at the point where we're just wrapping it 5 times and putting a stitch in it. Hey, while we're on that note, let me do this one more time. Let me go around here one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and stitch. Okay? Now, you guys, you're probably wondering, look at that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're probably wondering, here, this little bowl is stitched that way. About every 5 turns, it's a stitch. I think I can show you an example right here of one that's not. This bowl is not every 5 stitches. Look at that. How many turns do you think they did there? That could be 20 turns or so before a stitch, which it holds together. It's great, right? But look at the gap. So that I just wanted to show you the difference. What if you did 10 turns instead of 5? You'd probably have a gap like that in there, which is, again, it holds together fine. So again, more stitches makes it tighter. Less stitches, a little bit looser. Okay? Okay, so, hey, do we have another one to catch up so we could put it on video. Oh, bring it up, bring it up. All right, let me clean my paper off. My paper gets dirty because of the jute.
You said her name.
Oh, whoops. I keep messing up. All right, now you guys, check this out. Let's see where we're at here. Now remember, this, oh, look at this. Hey, the end of this is buried. So I'm not going to unwound this one. I have a little bit of the end of the jute that I could use to bend over here. That'll work just fine. I'll go ahead and do that and make the little eyelet out of it. Now you've seen this multiple times if you've been following all of our videos, which so far is just this one and the yesterday's. Go a little bit further here. Let's bend the whole eyelet over like a little backwards E. Put a little stitch in here to hold it all together. Check it out. Now, this is going to be off and running. Now, again, my goal here in class, you guys, is to get everybody on the same page. It's totally different than an individual sport when you're in a classroom, because you just want to catch everybody up so we can all do the same thing and all learn about changing the colors the same time. And you know, if we're all working on it, each of our own as a team, kind of, okay? Now at home, totally different thing. It's whenever you want, however you want. You could take your time. And then, of course, once you found out how to change the colors, you're off and running. Now, eventually, tomorrow's video, I'll talk about changing directions so you can make it into a bowl or a different type of shape other than flat. And then after that, that would be Friday. Friday, I think that we'll do another episode, and we'll probably at least have somebody ready to add new jute, to add to their core, okay? After that's done, the only thing left to show you on video is how to finish it, okay? Now, you know, if everybody's finished by Friday, we have a bunch of coasters is what will happen. But if we go on into next week, you remember the little bottle I showed you, that took more than just 1 week, okay? So, oh, I just keep going. See, I just can't stop once I start. You guys, I do about 5 turns and a stitch. It's kind of mindless once you get going. Now, we only have about 10 minutes before lunch. Look at that. Oh, by the way, look at that. Whoop. There we go. Excellent job.
Why do you put your string with your jute?
Now, great question. I usually have my jute going off to the left and my string to the right. I did have a student last period who was left-handed, and he told me he couldn't really do it that way, and it was difficult. I was having a hard time doing it the other way.
Aren't you left-handed?
I am technically I'm right-handed, but my mom taught me things left-handed. She taught me to eat left-handed and to draw left-handed or right left-handed, but really I'm right-handed. So, oh wait, yes. Oh wait, it's was that R2D2 over there? R2D2.
Who?
Owen. Owen, what's your question? Owen's got a question.
You said
Whoops. Hey, you guys, look at this. I'm gonna, in a minute after this question, I'm gonna show you what I got going on here with this marsh bag.
I need a different color.
Okay, go grab one real quick. Hey, we're gonna change colors again for you before our video's up. We only have about 8 minutes of class left, and you guys, I'm gonna back this out to the last stitch right here and prepare this for the new color. Now, you guys at home probably know that we're going to put the new color right on this core. Hey, Hey, we got a guest start. We're live on.
Burton.
We're live.
Oh man,
Not
the
technically.
whole world's watching.
Well, probably one kid.
If they're not asleep.
I don't know. We put him to sleep. Hey, you guys, I'm gonna put this yarn, the new yarn, right along the core. You see? Let's see if you can see that. I'm laying it right along the core, and then I'm gonna wrap around both the core and the new yarn, like so, just like normal. Okay? Give it a stitch. Now, I left enough yarn here that we could do that again. If you do that again, you'll notice a little bit of yarn there. Don't worry, that's buried. We do that twice, it's even stronger, okay? We don't have a big problem with this with yarn, and I can't tell, or I can't remember if I mentioned this earlier, but some materials, sometimes it could slip out, when you're trying to tie it real tight or something. So, it's better to have more than enough buried in the core than it is to have too little. Okay. Now, girls, remember we're live, girls. Quiet on the set. Okay, now go ahead and switch the old end of the yarn along the core. I've put the needle onto the new yarn. Give it about 5 turns around. Give it a stitch. And he is off and running. Okay? Now, before we wrap up the video for today, we've got just a few minutes. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, my trash bag is all over the place. Hey, we got just a couple minutes. Remember my just say, oh wait, we'll look, just say, beautiful job. I wanted to show you guys, I'm going to take this plastic. Boys, hey, girls, we're still on camera. I'm doing this for the people at home. Do you guys remember I told you I'll show you how to add a core to your project? I doubled this bag up, and I'm going to lay it right along the old core of this bag here and just start wrapping around it, just like I do when I add a new string. Now, once I do that, of course, give it a few turns and then a stitch. Hey, by the way, this stuff is a little bit tougher to work with, I should say, than the yarn. But I have a feeling in the end, it might be kind of cool. Hey, another thing. I was just noticing I could use one of these to wrap around. I think I will. I'm going to go ahead and switch. Again, you guys, with this plastic, it is the exact same thing with the yarn. It's just that it's not as uniform. It's not as neat. It's not as colorful. But it is great for Earth Day. I'm using a recycled material, right? Instead of this ending up in a landfill or out in the ocean. Here in Indiana, it probably just end up in a landfill. Now, here we go. Look at that. Just like our yarn ones, I can make this out of plastic. Now, you guys at home, you're probably sitting there thinking, man, does he mean that I really have to go out and get some trash bags and a paper clip and make one of these?
Yes.
Some of the students you just heard said yes. Okay, one of them. But if you don't, you could, I'll tell you when you get back to class, depending when you get back, I can give you materials and you can work on it like with yarn and normal, okay? You could catch up on your own. It's no big deal. You ought to keep art in your life every day, though. Maybe do some drawing around the house. If you got some paper, pencil, you could do a little drawing. because it'll just be good for you. Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna end the video today.
Like and subscribe. Hit the bell.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the little bell, ring a ding ding. Hey, by the way, you guys, preview of tomorrow, we will talk about making this into something other than just a flat coil project. Okay, changing directions. Tomorrow, that'll be on tomorrow's episode. So tune in tomorrow. I hope that everybody at home is safe and healthy. Stay healthy. And yeah, peace. And let me get over here. Oh, wait, I'm back on camera. All right, here we go. Don't forget.
See you later.
See you guys later. Let me get to the point where I turn it off here. Have a great day. And you guys, where is the button to push? Here it is.
See ya.
See